Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. The era of rapid EV expansion has hit the brakes, and we're now facing a new reality. The EV market has slowed, sparking an unprecedented price war as manufacturers offer hefty discounts to stay afloat. This has led to significant losses, forcing companies to cut costs, primarily through workforce reductions. Yes, you heard it right, folks. Layoffs have hit the EV market, and thousands are losing their jobs. Let's dive into 6 major cases. Case number 6, Tesla trims 10% of its workforce. Let's begin with Tesla, the world's leading EV manufacturer. After a decade of significant growth, expanding its workforce to 140,000, the tide has turned. The EV market has stalled, and for the first time in years, Tesla is incurring losses on its EVs. This has led to challenging times and inevitable cost-cutting measures, including layoffs. Tesla recently announced a 10% global workforce reduction, equating to 14,000 employees. All plants are set to be affected, starting in the US with over 6,000 planned layoffs. The layoffs have been mapped out, with 3,332 in Texas, 2,688 in California, 700 in Nevada, and 285 in Buffalo. Internationally, the majority of layoffs will occur in China, where Tesla is grappling with a 43% sales drop and a fierce price war with local EV manufacturers. Around 400 jobs will also be lost in Germany. Interestingly, layoffs are planned in software service sectors too, and a recent exodus of executives, including Drew Baglino, Rohan Patel, Rebecca Tanucci, and Daniel Ho, seems quite telling. Case number 5, Rivian initiates second round of layoffs. Rivian, once a rising star in the EV sector, is now facing a slowdown and high interest rates, leading to lower sales than anticipated. This has disappointed investors and led to record low shares. Consequently, Rivian has been exploring various cost-cutting methods, including in-house part production and supplier renegotiation. Despite these efforts, layoffs were unavoidable. In February, Rivian announced a 10% workforce reduction, and recently, an additional 1% cut was announced. Company officials have acknowledged the difficulty of these decisions, but deemed them necessary to achieve a positive gross margin by year's end. Most of the cuts targeted staff supporting the business. In a noteworthy development, Rivian recently introduced a new model, the R2 SUV, a smaller and more affordable alternative to the R1S. Originally planned for a new plant, Rivian decided to produce the R2 in an existing plant, a move expected to save over $2 billion. The new SUV is slated for delivery in the first half of 2026. Case number 4. Fisker's freefall and job cuts to save capital. Last year, Fisker unveiled an impressive SUV, the Ocean, but it didn't make the splash they hoped for. The company is in a precarious state, with its stock steadily declining. The recent announcement of impending layoffs has only added to the turbulence. Initially, investors seemed relieved when Fisker began discussions with potential buyers, but the layoff news has reignited concerns. Company officials have indicated that further job cuts are on the horizon, as this is the only viable strategy to conserve remaining capital. This news sent Fisker's stock spiraling, leading to high volatility. According to Business Insider, these layoffs are expected to occur within the next 2 months. Fisker has communicated that it is exploring all options to address its operating cash requirements, including discussions with potential buyers and investors and various restructuring alternatives. However, there's a chance these efforts may not succeed. Industry experts suggest this could even signal that Fisker's future is in jeopardy. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift gears and steer towards our next point. Case number 3. GM's Lake Orion plant hits a speed bump. GM, a legacy automaker that once charged full speed into electrification, is now navigating a slowdown. This has led to significant capital losses, prompting GM to buy back some of its shares. The new EVs based on the Ultium platform are underperforming, And the successful Chevy Bolt EV and EUV models have been discontinued with no successor until 2025. This has forced GM to cut jobs at the Lake Orion plant. GM announced a 24% workforce reduction at the plant, which previously employed 1,261 workers. The plant is being retooled for the production of all-electric pickups like the Silverado EV and Sierra EV. Most of the impacted employees, represented by UAW Local 5960, have been offered new roles at other GM facilities. GM's struggle with EVs continues, with several major EV investments postponed. The production of the aforementioned electric pickups, originally planned for this year, won't start until late 2025, and the production of the new drive unit has been pushed to the end of this year. Case number 2. Ford F-150 Lightning production slashed by 2/3. Ford, a pioneer among the Big Three with its all-electric F-150 Lightning, has hit a rough patch. After an initial surge in demand, interest waned as the electric pickup fell short of its ICE counterpart's capabilities. Sales dipped, forcing Ford to offer hefty discounts of $7,000 to $15,000 per vehicle. This led to significant losses, with Ford losing over $36,000 on each electric F-150 sold last year, culminating in a total loss of over $5 billion on EVs in 2023. Faced with no other option, Ford drastically cut production by 2/3. This decision impacted the workforce significantly. Out of 2,100 workers at the Rogue Electric Vehicle Center in Dearborn, only 700 will remain. The rest face a choice: accept a $50,000 retirement package or reassignment in Southeast Michigan. Meanwhile, 700 workers will be transferred to the Wayne plant to build Bronco and Ranger models. Case number 1. NIO braces for another round of layoffs, rumors suggest. China is often seen as the world's most developed EV market. But even there, things are far from perfect. Like the rest of the world, growth has slowed down, and competition is fiercer than ever. Of course, the price war is in full swing, so it's clear that most companies are struggling to stay in business. NIO is one of these companies. The company's shares are currently 90% down compared to their all-time high in 2021. And even though the sales numbers are decent and the company has shown some growth, there is no profit. Logically, the company has been figuring out how to cut expenses. Back in November, it already cut 10% of its workforce, and now, rumors suggest that another round of layoffs is coming. While company officials have dismissed these rumors, social media chatter suggests otherwise. Even NIO's CEO, William Li, has expressed a desire to eliminate redundant and inefficient roles, hinting at potential changes. The extent of the layoffs and the number of affected workers remain to be seen. However, it's clear that companies like NIO are facing unprecedented struggles, signaling a radical shift in the landscape of China's automotive industry. Thanks for tuning in to Piston Pundit. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. See you next time.